All right, in today's lecture, we're going to be going over texture. Now, texture is very important for creating realistic artwork and even non-realistic artwork. Texture is what makes your artwork look interesting. So once you get down the fundamentals such as shape and form, value and contrast, well, then you need to add another layer of some interesting detail on there to really make your artwork pop. So today, we're going to be going over how to create texture. The first type of texture you can create is with contouring lines. So I'm going to quickly draw 4 circles, like so. And these are actually going to be spheres. And what we're going to do with them is we're going to add some contouring line texture to it. So how do you do that? Well, let's start with this first one. So the way I'm going to add in that texture is just like so. It's going to be a fur texture, and so all I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some contouring lines in the shape of my fur. And so I'm really randomizing it. Some of them are a little bit curvier, but they're just very short, simple lines that give the idea that this sphere has some fur texture. You'll also notice that my fur up here at the top is a lot flatter than down here. Down here, it's almost hanging because of gravity. Now we can go ahead and add in some more fur texturing on the inside of our sphere. Just like so. So now that looks like fur, even though there's no highlights or shadows, but it still gives the idea that there's fur there. Let's try another one. So the second one, we're going to make sort of a chipped away rock type of texture. So I'm going to start by creating the outline contouring line of my sphere, and it's going to be a little bit rocky and jaggedy rather than being a perfect sphere. Like so. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in that texture. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start making some geometrical forms, mostly trapezoids and rectangular type shapes, and maybe a triangle or two in there. But I'm just going to start connecting these to create the texture of sort of a chipped away type of rock texture. Now, as we get towards the edge of our shape, these shapes are going to be a lot thinner because they are curving around our object. And so you're going to see them in perspective, and then as they start to come around towards the middle, they're going to get a little bit wider. All right, perfect. So now we have a really cool texture on that. Let's try another one. So the next one we're going to do is going to be sort of a holy type asteroid type of a rock. And so let's start with the outside contouring line. So first off, I want to add in some holes on the outside of my rock. And these holes look like ovals because they're on the very edge of them. And so if you take a circle and turn it sideways, you're going to see an oval because of that perspective. So let's go ahead and start sketching that in. So we want a very rocky, jaggedy type of feel to the outside contouring line. Just like so. And then we can go ahead and start adding in some hole texture.